The Ghost of Dry Gulch by Reuben White. The wind whipped across the parched plains, carrying with it the scent of sagebrush and dust. A lone figure, silhouette against the setting sun, rode towards the desolate town of Redemption. This was Jeb Stone, a man hardened by years of toil under the unforgiving western sky. His face, etched with the lines of hardship and resolve, held the weariness of a man who had seen too much violence, yet his eyes glinted with an unwavering determination. Jeb wasn't a lawman, not anymore. He turned in his badge after a shootout left his best friend dead, a casualty of a corrupt system. Now, he sought a different kind of justice, the kind found at the end of a cold peacemaker. His goal was simple: find the ruthless gang responsible for the massacre at Dry Gulch and make them pay. The gang, led by the notorious Smiling Jack Mallory, was a scourge upon the land, leaving a trail of blood and terror in its wake. Mallory, a man whose charm was as deadly as his quick draw, had a reputation for cruelty that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. Redemption, a town clinging to the edge of civilization, was a haven for outlaws and misfits. Its saloon, the Rusty Spur, was a cauldron of simmering tensions, where whispers of Mallory's exploits mingled with the clinking of glasses and the strumming of a lone guitar. Jeb stepped into the saloon, his spurs clinking on the wooden floor. The room fell silent, the patron's eyes fixed on the stranger. The air crackled with anticipation. "Whiskey," Jeb rasped, his voice rough as gravel. As the barkeep poured him a shot, a gruff voice boomed from a darkened corner. "You new in town, stranger?" Jeb turned, his hand instinctively hovering near his holster. A hulking figure emerged from the shadows, a scar twisting across his cheek like a gnarled branch. This was Bear Johnson, a man-mountain of a blacksmith with a temper as fiery as his forge. "Just passing through," Jeb replied, his eyes locked with Bear's. A tense silence hung in the air, broken only by the crackling of the fireplace. Then, Bear grinned, a surprisingly gentle smile spreading across his face. "Well, you picked a hell of a time to visit. Smiling Jack and his boys been stirring up trouble." Jeb's grip tightened on his glass. "I heard about Dry Gulch." Bear's smile vanished. "Good folks, most of them. Didn't deserve that." He paused, studying Jeb with a keen eye. "You got a score to settle with Mallory, stranger?" Jeb took a swig of his whiskey, the fiery liquid burning its way down his throat. "Something like that." "Then you best be careful," Bear warned. "Mallory's a rattler, always coiled to strike." "I'm used to dealing with snakes," Jeb said, his voice low and dangerous. The night wore on, the tension in the saloon thickening like a desert storm brewing. Jeb, his senses sharpened by years of survival, felt the weight of eyes upon him, curious and wary. He knew Mallory's men would be watching, waiting for him to make a move. As the moon climbed high in the sky, casting long shadows across the dusty streets, Jeb stepped out of the saloon, the cool night air a welcome relief from the stifling atmosphere within. He knew the confrontation was inevitable. It was just a matter of time. The showdown came at dawn, as the first rays of sunlight painted the sky with hues of orange and purple. Jeb stood facing Mallory and his gang in the deserted main street, the silence broken only by the whistling wind. "You got guts showing your face here, Stone," Mallory sneered, his voice dripping with malice. "I came for justice," Jeb replied, his voice steady. "Justice?" Mallory laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the empty street. "You'll find no justice here, old man." "Then I'll bring it myself," Jeb said, his hand resting on the butt of his revolver. The world narrowed to a single point, the figures of Mallory and his men etched against the rising sun. The air crackled with tension, the silence shattered by the deafening roar of gunfire. To be continued. If you are enjoying adventures in the Old West channel, hit the subscribe button for upcoming posts.